Hi, I'm Shari Brase Smith. I am the facilitator of a group called Healing Hands for Hurting Hearts. It's a group for incest survivors. I am an incest survivor myself. I have managed to go beyond all the trauma and find a life of joy. And it just seemed that God wanted me to help other women through that so that they could find peace and joy. The people that came to the group initially that first time, yes, universally, everyone spoke about being sick to their stomach. Many of them felt like they were about to throw up. It was very difficult emotionally for them to come that first night. Now they universally are speaking of things like finding some hope in their lives and being able to build relationships, being able to make friends, being able to improve their relationships with their families, and being able to recognize that God never abandoned them. One of the hardest things about being an incest survivor, really a survivor of any type of abuse, but I think incest is the worst, is that you feel abandoned by everybody, but especially by God. I remember when I was being abused the first time, I was begging God to come rescue me. And it didn't happen. Nobody came. There was no knight in shining armor. No angel showed up to save me. And so, I was a little kid. So my conclusion was that meant that I wasn't good enough for God, or that for whatever reason I was rejected. And that stayed with me. For most of my adult life, I always felt like God had turned his back on me. And most survivors feel that way. So when you get into the Bible and you discover the truth that God really was right there with us, and that he felt our pain, he felt our shame, he felt our tears, and he felt our cries for help, and it made him hurt too, and that he tried everything to make sure that we would survive, and we did survive. We are survivors, we are not victims, and that's an important change in concept. It's real easy to go through life feeling like a victim, and when you can change that mentality away from being a victim to being a survivor and recognizing how much God loves you, then you can't help but find peace and love and joy. And truly, the joy of the Lord is the best thing that could ever happen to anybody, because that's the ultimate goal. One wrote, "What the group gives me is a chance to be with others who are working on healing from the effects of past abuse and how it impacts." She also wrote, "It also helps me to remember that God loves me, doesn't see me or judge me like I see and judge myself. One thing you can't get outside the group is the ability to be with others with shared experiences who understand you in a unique way. I would recommend the group to others. I had been needing a group like this but couldn't find one." Another wrote, "The issues we deal with are isolating in some ways. You can share with someone and their response is sympathy. I don't need someone to pity me. I just need to know I am not alone. Someone who understands." Also, faith-based is vital. We need constant reminders that God is with us. We have not been abandoned. Said, he loves us and wants us to keep seeking him for help, and knows we need each other to keep reminding us of that. We are not defined by our past, but by who he made us to be, his children. They say it all. They say